What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about ninja, racism, and white privilege. I'm actually really excited for today's video, guys, because I don't know what it is about the internet when it comes to racism and white privilege and stuff, but it just feels so volatile. And as a black guy, I feel like I hold a lot of power. You know, it's like when a white man is talking about racism and white privilege, you know, everyone hears him, but then everyone, you know, looks over to the left and be like, well, I wonder what the black people think, you know? It's like we're like the final verdict of like the up or the no. And it's absolutely hilarious to me. I'm not saying that racism is hilarious. I mean, sometimes it is hilarious, but on the whole, you know, not good. So yeah, guys, GameSpot, not to be confused with GameStop. Yeah, I used to do the same thing. But yeah, GameSpot made a tweet that says, Ninja says parents should parent their kids, citing that it's not his job to teach kids about racism and white privilege. Ooh, okay. That's a statement. That's an article. That's a thread. You guys can see lots of comments. A lot of people feeling, you know, certain ways. I think I saw Black Lives Matter. Yep, I did. So like, yeah, a lot of feelings involved. So what we're going to do is this, guys. We're going to go ahead and read this article, okay? And I'll let you guys know how I feel about it, you know, as we're reading it, you know, give you the play-by-play action as, you know, the token black guy commentator, you know, talking about these things on the internet. And then we will go into the Twitter comments, which I can only imagine being nice and juicy. I'm pretty sure there's some opinions out there. I can only assume it's probably a bunch of white women defending us black people, or just, you know, POCs in general. But yeah, that's my guess. We'll see if that's true later. Anyway, without further ado, let's just get started. By the way, yes, this video is not sponsored, so I'm just going to show off my Agretzko mug because I really like this one, and it's a really good show on Netflix if you haven't watched it already. So starting off, the title says, Ninja thinks parents should parent their kids. You know, like right off the bat, that's yeah, I think that's a factual statement. The popular streamer said it's not his job to teach kids about racism and white privilege. Popular Twitch streamer Tyler Ninja Blevins has some choice words for parents in an interview with the New York Times. Listen to, and more importantly, teach your kids. Ninja was asked several questions by the publication about a number of things in his life, from his plans to transition to voice acting, to his comments a few years ago about not playing games with women. I remember that. There was this whole time where he was basically saying he didn't want to like interact with women on the internet because he was afraid of getting canceled, dog. Like, because he's got a wife. I think at the time it was a fiance. I can't remember which one, but he was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about like streaming or co-streaming with women because I feel like people are going to shit me, then may get canceled. Dog, the internet, bro. Anyway, one question in particular was centered around the behavior of the kids who frequent his live streams, the little Timmies and Tommies. When asked what could be done to mitigate the oftentimes infantile and inflammatory comments made in the chat. I like whoever is writing this article. They have some good vocabulary, which inevitably tend to devolve into some form of derogatory or racial slurs. Ooh, sexy. Ninja said, it all comes down to parenting. So, okay, nothing spicy so far, just setting up the preface of this entire article by saying like, yes, it boils down to parenting basically. But it all comes down to parenting, Ninja said. You want to know who your kid is? Listen to him when he's playing video games when he thinks you're not. Here's another thing. How does a white kid know he has white privilege if his parents never teach him or don't talk about racism? So, okay. Okay. Those are some choice words. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't like, you know, ready for this answer. It wasn't like in his notebook of like, you know, things white people should say when they're being asked this question. Probably something off the top of his head, right? First of all, him saying you want to know who your kid is, listen to him when he's playing video games. Can you not? Can you not define me by what I'm doing while I'm playing video games? Dog, I be talking to myself. I don't even need to be playing a video game, dog. If my parents were listening to me while I was in my room, I'm sitting here just talking to myself, having a conversation with myself. I don't even have a one-on-one conversation with myself. I have like a one-on-three. I have the me, then there's another me, then there's past me, and then there's future me, then there's present me. I have a bunch of me's, bro. It's like Kingdom Hearts, dog. Like I'm just talking to myself like Ansem. So like, if you judge me based on just listening to me being an absolute moron in the backgrounds, please, because otherwise I'd probably have been put into a special institute. And then he says, what is this? Here's another thing. How does a white kid know he has white privilege if his parents never teach him or don't talk about racism? So I'm just going to go out on the limb and say that most kids growing up have learned about racism. They've learned, they know, they watch TV, they watch social media, they watch Steven Universe. You know, they saw the whole episode where the woman was like, racism is bad. You know, they... Without your parents, we're in the age of the internet, and people will learn and understand the concept of racism, even if they don't want to, because it's going to be thrown in their face. It's 2020. You're going to learn about it. So I'm not saying it's not the parents' responsibility. I mean, but I'm also saying that they will probably learn about it without the parents. So I'm not knocking him for what he's saying. I'm just like, obviously, this is how they're going to learn about it. Like, have you not seen 2020, bro? Like, did you not see the whole Black Lives Matter movement and George Floyd? Like, some kids going to be like, hey, mommy, daddy, what happened? If they're like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know, like... I'm sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this. Continuing, if they're gaming and their first interaction with racism is one of their friends saying the N-word and they have no idea what it is, what if it was on my stream? Okay. So I've never really thought about this, you know, like every little, you know, white kid's first, you know, interaction with the N-word, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought about it. I've always thought about it like as a black guy, like my first interaction as being called the N-word, which was when I was a kid in kindergarten, a bunch of white kids called me the N-word. And I was like, what the heck is that? I came back home and started saying it to my mom. I don't even remember what she told me. I think she wanted to go up to the school to beat up all the kids. But yeah, but I really never quite thought about the concept of like, you know, like a little kid's first encounter of hearing it from someone else. And I would imagine when they first hear the word, you know, out of context, it's probably like, what is that? And then when they hear it, they probably don't, you know, understand the gravity of it. They don't understand what it means, how it makes people feel probably. It's probably just another bad boo-boo word that you can't say, and something like that. So it's basically saying, what if it was on his stream? Is it my job to have this conversation with this kid? No, because the first thing that's going on in my head is this kid is doing this on purpose to troll me. If someone says a racial slur on someone else's stream, it can potentially get that streamer banned. That's awful, but that's the first thing I think of. I don't blame Ninja here at all. That's the same thought process that would go through my mind. If I'm a super huge, big streamer and someone's throwing around the N-word, it's bait. We know it's bait. Like, internet culture knows it's bait. We are degenerates. We've been around the degenerates. And once we see the degenerates in our Twitch stream long enough, we know that we're getting baited by like someone saying the N-word. There's no way that little Timmy is coming to the Twitch chat and learning what the N-word is for the first time on stream, okay? It's all bait. Anyway, continuing at the same time, however, Ninja noted that the internet's illusion of anonymity, I always say that word, anonymity, fuck. Only I had my white privilege speaking power. Anonymity. I knew that. Thank you. At the same time, however, Ninja noted that the internet's illusion of anonymity does embolden people to say whatever they want. Ninja still thinks parents should get involved, though. So yes, again, facts. That's why you see so many people being so brave on the internet. It's because they can get their ass beat on the internet, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no way like this is happening in real life, bro. A lot of people can hide behind their monitors. They can hide behind social accounts, bro. There are burner accounts. There are people with burner accounts who are actual, you know, popular people going out, getting a burner account and then harassing people just because, you know, the anonymity behind it. But if they, you know, knew that they could get exposed, they wouldn't say half the things they could say. All right, continuing, and this is the last paragraph. Oh man, it's so short. I don't think it's gaming. I think it's internet culture. People are behind the screen. They say what they want and can get away with it. You have complete anonymity. Your information and data are precious and should remain private, but it sucks that there are kids who can say racist things and be incredibly aggressive and threatening to women online and have zero repercussions. Yo, facts. This man is speaking facts. Why were so many people against? They must have only read the title, only read the article title on Twitter and responded, because so far this man's speaking like 90% facts. You know, there's some things I have like a little bit of like, I don't know, but so far just facts. It would be awesome if when someone said something threatening, you could be like, let me look up this dude's gamer tag on this website. You know what's funny? I can hear Ninjas saying all of these things. Like, Ninja's like, you know what would be cool? If somebody called me the N-word, I could go in, look at his profile, get his address, drive to this kid's home, and then kick him in the face. Like, that's that's what Ninja's thinking, dog. He says, you could be like, let me look up this dude's gamer tag on this website. If the law could do this, not a normal person And then boom, it's Jimmy. He said this. Let's call his parents. Okay, so he's talking about tattletelling. So that's snitching. All right, I ain't about snitching. I ain't trying to snitch, dog. I ain't know Ninja was a snitch. Dang, you learned some things. But yo, I'd go to Timmy's house and beat his ass, but I wouldn't snitch. Me and Timmy would settle this mano y mano in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so yeah, so that's the gist of this article. Okay, I have no problems with the majority of what Ninja said. I think the whole concept, guys, by the way, is there's this whole concept of like influencers. People like to use the word, influencer. If I, like me, I'm a YouTube creator, you guys are listening to me. Therefore, I need to be saying things that are, healthy and uplifting and right, or whatever way you want to call that, because I influence you guys. I brainwash you guys with my speech and my lyrics, and you have no say in the matter. And if I tell you to, do something terrible, then it's my fault. Vice versa, if I say, hey, go do something amazing, and you do it, I take responsibility for that as well, I guess. So I don't know. That's the whole term with influencers. Now, let me be frank, okay? For the most part, I don't think that Ninja is wrong. Okay, it is not Ninja's job. Okay, this is not G.I. Joe, dog. Okay, this is not after every stream. All right, kids, thanks for watching. And remember, don't be racist and don't say the N-word. Like, no, that's not his job. He doesn't have to do that. I could say that he could promote positivity. He could promote, like, hey, by the way, guys, don't say that word or whatever. He can make rules that, keep people safe, but it is not his job to educate his kids on these matters. His number one job is to entertain. Period. Play video games, be entertaining. Kids can come and watch and be entertaining. That's it. That's all he has to do. And in fact, he doesn't even have to do that. He's not entitled to do anything that he does not want to do. Now, I will say that when you are an influencer, you do have a specific kind of responsibility to kind of like not let your community go like too wild. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're starting to see like your community, for example, attack women, like literally like somebody like Leafy, and you see his community like harassing people, harassing women, targeting women. You see these things happening. You gotta say something. You gotta speak up. You can't let that run rampant because that just becomes a little bit too toxic. But also, I guess the problem here is like, what if your parents are racist? What about then? What about that, Ninja? I don't know if you consider that, but not all parents are sitting there, having the talk with their little Timmys and Tommies like, hey, little Timmy, let me teach you a little thing about white privilege and why you should never say the N-word. I bet you the parents at Capitol Hill, those guys that went there, I'm pretty sure they're not having to talk like that with their kids. So there's got to be a level of understanding and I want to say transparency to know that, yes, there is a certain level of influence that we do have over kids. And the words that we do say do have that kind of impact. And, saying some kind words, things like, don't say, the N-word or stepping up for Black Lives Matter. Really like small things where you defend like minority groups and stuff like that can go a long way. Kids, they kind of repeat what they see, especially if they look up to you. So when they imitate your behavior. And if you're kind of, exhibiting behavior that shows that kind of energy, and I'm not saying like Ninja's out there, screaming on his screen, but like white power. Like I don't think that's Ninja at all, dog. But at the same time, I think it's good to have in the back of your mind that people are watching you. People are going to repeat your behavior. And it's good to kind of like, exude what you want to see in the world and yourself. Anyway, guys, we're going to go to the Twitter replies. Okay, let me refresh the screen really fast because the Twitter replies should be very juicy. And if we see anything that stands out that's very juicy, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it. Okay. So I don't know who this guy, Barnacles Nerdgasm. Like he's got the check mark, so he must be famous, and he has poggers emotes, so he must be a Twitch streamer. Translation: I don't want to scare off any racists because I want to maximize my views and following regardless of the damage it does. Wow. That's a translation. What Webster Dictionary version translation is he using? Because that I did not infer that at all. Jesus Christ, bro. Oh yeah, I understand this one all too well, seeing as I decided doing what is right is more important than exploiting people for money. SMH. This guy's right here is what you call virtue signaling. This is textbook virtue signaling, okay? Not only did this guy take this man's translation and turn it into the most evil thing it can be, I can't go comments like this, bro. It's not even reasonable. It's not even trying to see the other side. It's literally just taking one stance that like millions of people will love, and it's just factually this translation, this interpretation of Ninja is messed up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Julia tweeted, as an influencer, it is actually your job to influence. Wrong. It ain't my job to influence nobody, bro. I don't care if some boomer decided to start labeling us as influencers, dog. I'm a YouTuber, okay? You can give me that title because it's actually factually correct. But if somebody wants to label me as an influencer, that's on them, bro, okay? Whether I influence you or not, that's up to you. Plenty of you guys listen to me and be like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to this man because he influences me. And some of y'all go like, all right, this dude is kind of crazy. I like him because he's crazy, but I ain't gonna listen to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So again, and there you go. We have Julia with the hearts. Actually, I recognize this is Riku. Black Lives Matter, hashtag free melee. Shout outs to Riku. Are people actually blaming influencers rather than their parents' shortcomings as parents? Seems that way. Yep, that is kind of how it's kind of looking. To put on the responsibility of Ninja 100% is absolutely like silly. To say that Ninja doesn't have any responsibility is also false as well. But I don't understand when it comes to these things why it has to be, you know, black or white. Pun intended. You know, it's 100% or 0%. You're either completely racist. So Jenna, oh, okay, with the Jenna Twitch, with the Black Lives Matter movement tag. I wonder if that's been up there forever. Probably has. Let me stop judging. Let me stop being a bitch. I'm being a bitch. I mean, I had no parents to teach me. It would have been nice to have some education on these topics as a teen from people I looked up to. Not saying it's his responsibility, but maybe it's just a nice thing to do to help others. See, this is reasonable. This is a conversation. This is a person who's just like not going to the extreme. I fucks with this. Okay, you know what I'm saying, dog? Like, I'm saying it's not his responsibility, but it would be dope if you try to promote, you know, good energy and a little bit of education every now and then. This is what you like to see, but you barely don't see it because you know why? It only has 86 likes. So when you're reasonable on the internet, people are like, nah, bro, get that take out of here, dog. I want blood. This guy Nick said, sounds like he's saying, I stand to benefit from the many, many bigoted gamers and don't want to lose all that money to me. There's no excuse at this point. If you cultivate this trash, you are this trash. Jeez, bro. Dang, Nick. Come on, man. You can't. Your tag says at Rock Lee Smile, dog. You can't be having takes like this, dog. I mean, you're right, but it's like it's not. This doesn't apply to Ninja. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not cultivating this just because he's not giving these little kids attention every time they scream the N-word or use any kind of like slur. You're like, you don't give these kids attention because they're looking for attention. You don't want to feed into it because then everyone's going to start doing it in the chat all the time. By the way, I just like to point out that I haven't seen like a response from like a black person. Like all the top responses seem to be from just like white people condemning white people, which I'm all about, bro. I'm all about white people keeping each other accountable and keeping each other in check. But I haven't seen like one response from a non-white person being like, this is kind of how I feel about it. But I'm just saying, these comments are troubling. He's basically saying, it's not my job to set decency standards for the community I've created, but let's let the government police what people say without my... What? 854 likes? He is clearly being ignorant of the very thing he is doing. He has created a community, and if he feels that he's not responsible for that, and it should be the responsibility of adults, he is no better than the kid. Oh, man. Where are the black people? Come on, let me see a black comment. Here we go. A black person. Borrento. My man Borrento. All right, what do you say? The framing GameStop put on this versus the reality of the question and answer are vastly different. Ooh, is this man fact checking? Okay, finally. Recommend people read the actual New York Times interview rather than this retelling and come with an opinion. Let's see what he has to say. Let's check the receipts. So, okay, I'm not even going to read it to you guys. It basically is just Ninja saying more about questions. Basically, there's more context in there, but there wasn't anything like extra spicy. So let's see what Barrento has to say. He says, it's important to foster a welcoming community that rejects hate on sight. GameStop frames his response as a rejection to that rather than an ineloquent take on anonymity on the internet and his general fears, which the question was properly followed up and expanded on, but nah. All right, here's the last tweet, okay? We have Azuzara who says his job description is literally called influencer. As such, of course, it's your job to cultivate a community without bigotry and hate speech. The bigger your platform, the bigger your responsibility is too. And my boy CBV and M says no, his job description is content creator. That's all he's there to do. So yeah, guys, that's the situation in a nutshell. You know, Ninja is not your dad. The end end all be all, bro, is that like I have learned things from sources that I shouldn't have learned from. The majority of what I learned about in life that actually made me a good person was anime. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to front. Like watching Goku turn Super Saiyan because his friend was in trouble, that made me think like, man, if my boys are ever in trouble, bro, I'm just gonna get crazy and go mad and just like turn Super Saiyan on. It's like I learned how to be a dad from these shows. I learned how to be a good friend, a good boyfriend. I learned how to be all these things from anime because parents can't teach you everything, bro. Even parents can't teach you everything. The end all be all is that they're all sources, okay? The internet, your parents, your friends, everything is something that's feeding information into it, and the kids eventually have their own thought process into how they're going to feel, okay? So if a kid, is grown and is raised and in a way where they become a bad person, you can't just fault the parents. Sometimes, most of the time, it is the parents' fault, but it's not always their fault. And the point here is that no, Ninja does not have the responsibility as an influencer to make people not racist. He doesn't have to respond to people who are being racist because he knows that he's being baited. And then if he responds, then there's going to be like 50 million people doing the same thing again, which makes it even worse. It's toxic. Ninja understands the toxic culture. A lot of these people don't. And they're just virtue signaling from their platform being like, hey, Ninja, you're white. Therefore, if you don't take extreme actions, then you're racist. At the same time, I don't think Ninja can just be like, yes, it's just the parents' responsibility 100%. I do think as a white person in a place, if you do have the privilege, okay, if you do got it, if you got the power, if you got the card, you know what I'm saying, dog, then you got to like occasionally be like, no, or stop this or put your foot down, be a good example when you can. You don't have to, but if you do, that'd be nice for everyone. You know what I'm saying, dog? But you don't have to. And I think people trying to force them to do that is just hella toxic. I hate it when people on the internet try to tell you what to do. It's like try to tell you what you need to be doing, dog. Like that's a pet peeve. I hate it when people use the word need and say you need to be doing this. Like, dog, get out my face with that. I'm about to be toxic. I'm about to be racist in the first place. I'm about to say the N-word. All right, I'm done. I had a little bit too much fun with that article. So let me know what you guys think about Ninja not being your dad in the comments below. Let me know how you guys feel, okay? I had a blast with that. If you guys have any other articles that you want me to read too, I really enjoy reading articles with you guys. If you guys have anything else, let me know. I'll read it. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, okay? And yeah, take it easy. Have a good one. I'm about to go play some Monster Hunter Rise this evening too. So just come follow me on there. I love this game. I'm addicted. Again, I'm addicted, bro. All right, I'm rambling. See y'all later. Y'all take it easy. All right, peace.